Hi, everyone. Welcome to a special edition of ANOKHI Uncensored, airing on the world's #1 South Asian radio station, Ruckus Avenue Radio, on the new iHeartRadio app collaboration. How exciting is that, guys? I'm super
Mhm.
excited about that collaboration, and it's going to get this heard so many more places. I'm so excited about that. So anyone that's new from the iHeartRadio app world, welcome to my world. ANOKHI Uncensored is all about telling indelible stories, authentic voices from the global South Asian community. You can also watch it on ANOKHI's YouTube and Facebook channels, as well as catch it through X, LinkedIn, and the written version can also be read at anokhilife.com. And don't forget, if you're not a newsletter subscriber, go hop on anokhilife.com and hit the newsletter button because it's free. It comes into your inbox every single week. This way, you don't miss a single episode of ANOKHI Uncensored or anything else that's going on in any given week in the world of ANOKHI. As usual, I'm your host, Girn, coming to you today to talk at length with the incredible founder of an innovative wellness and lifestyle company called Grounded 1002, Neeta Sharma. Now, before we say hello to her, let me just share a little bit about what this is all about. So, Anita has combined her knowledge and experience in life to create a brand that seeks to revolutionize how we approach wellness in today's world. Grounded 1002 promotes an intuitive lifestyle through a suite of products and experiences where the brand's mission is for people to become the best version of themselves by tuning into the magic of their own mind, body, and soul compass. Neeta Sharma's story is so inspirational, guys, that I don't want to preface it like I normally do. I want to actually have her tell her story in her own words. So let's just get right into it, right, guys? Let's welcome the fabulous Neeta Sharma to the show. Sweetheart,
Oh,
oh my God, I've
oh,
been
thank you.
waiting to have this conversation with you.
Oh, I'm so thankful. Thank you. And this is my first time face to face having a conversation with you, despite being at an Anoki party 15 years ago,
Oh my
probably in
gosh.
Toronto, yeah, at Liberty Grand. And I just remember seeing you thinking, like, wow, this is some amazing stuff this woman is doing for our community, for the women in the community. It was just, yeah. So perhaps you have been an inspiration for me too.
Oh my gosh. You know, this is what makes my heart so happy is
Yeah,
when we can share these stories about, what has inspired us and just I'm so humbled. I'm so humbled when, people come to me and it never gets old for me, Nita, when people share, how they came across the world of Anoki, how they met me, when they met me, especially when it was so long ago. So
so long ago.
thank you so much for sharing that.
Yeah,
So
Toronto.
Toronto.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
let's start by sharing the events that led up to your founding Grounded 1002. I want to start there because I always feel it's important for people to understand people's why. Let's
Yeah.
talk about that before we dive into all the fabulous things that the company and the brand is all about. What
Okay.
was your world like before you were guided to start the company?
Oh, right.
Start
What
there.
was my world like? Okay, good
Yes.
question. And so I'll just start with this. I started the company when right after I turned 40. And the catalyst of it truly was being a mother during COVID, but not only being a mother, I was the CHRO, so Chief Human Resources Operations person behind a high growth tech startup. And so that was the catalyst that was like, okay, I have to do this. And let's get into why. So going back
Mhm.
several years, I think I've always had an entrepreneurial gene, which could explain like why I've been so interested in, someone like you, being inspired by stories. I'm, always looking up to people that can inspire me. So I've had the entrepreneurial gene for life, several family members there. But In addition, I know I've always been a person of service. So
Mhm.
whatever I've done in life, personal or professional, has had some sort of service element to it. So despite studying commerce and finance, I went into I was the executive assistant to the president of Bell Canada, which is service in one way. I was doing wedding planning. I've done 150 weddings. That's
Wow.
one type of service. But
Yeah.
through my corporate career, HR led into different things, technology, strategy, whatever it is. But I think I was always kind of that soft leader in some ways, that people did come to for advice. And I think the superpower always was to help bring out the best in people. And
Mm.
going back further,
Mhm.
you know, from age being born, Ayurveda is something that we didn't really title, but was pretty much embodied as part of life.
Mhm.
Very early in life, I got obsessed with the Mayan culture. I'm obsessed with Mexico.
Mhm.
Go there regularly, and I don't think anyone does earth, air, water, fire, the moon better than the Mayans do. Um,
Mhm.
when I jumped into the corporate world and was too nice, I really got to learn about Stoicism. And then
Mhm.
um, I had some pretty big traumas happen to me through life, particularly 10 years ago, was kind of like the beginning of a whole lot of stuff. And that made me turn to traditional Chinese medicine. And I've always had this inkling for what people might describe as these ancient rituals, but not seeing them as ancient rituals, just seeing them as being life. Um,
Mhm.
and so putting all of that together, right? Like being in
Mhm.
the corporate world, having burnout, ending up on a heart monitor. I was actually at the ANOKHI party wearing my heart monitor
Oh my
after
God,
the
really?
stream. But I mean, you couldn't see it. It was in my shirt. You could maybe see like a wire, or something. But having that, and then a couple of other things that were life changing happen. When COVID happened,
Mhm.
and the questions were not just about like, hey, when do I come back to work? How do I do my job? It wasn't just that. It was like, hey, am I allowed to go outside for a walk?
Wow.
Someone who's living, I live in the UK, by the way. So,
Mhm.
people living in the UK in the middle of nowhere in a tiny bedroom asking me if they're allowed to go out for a walk, having
Mhm.
some pretty intense conversations with people where I was like, oh, wow, okay, you really depend on the government, your employer, to lead what you should be doing in life, which is a
Mhm.
good base point to have, but you also have to do what's best for yourself. And that was the point where I was like, girl, you gotta come out with this brand where, the coaching went very quickly from professional into that wellness space. And that's what kind of led to being grounded.
Mhm.
1002, which is a date, basically just saying like, we got to be aware of what's happening in the planets. It's not that, like, the universe is real, so we
Mhm.
owe it the respect that it deserves.
So there's so much that you shared there. I want to unpack a little bit of it before we dive into talking about Grounded 1002 and its mission and why it's important. Um,
Mhm.
what is it about, especially being, a South Asian and being a South Asian woman, and you're also a mother,
That's right.
right? Right. Um,
Almost 6 year old. Yeah.
yeah. So, I mean, this is a lot of hats to wear. And
I'm a co-parent too. I'm navigating a divorce right now.
yeah. Oh, so everything, and I've been there, so I understand that.
Yeah.
And this is, and the thing, just prefacing a little bit before I ask the question I want to ask you is, in our culture, as much as you feel you're marrying a person, you're marrying, and then they are marrying your family, you're marrying theirs. No matter how much you feel that's not happening, but it is because, and what I learned, Nita, which I'm wondering if that's kind of some of what you're going through. I learned that more when I got divorced because now, who gets to see my son? What, how do we navigate, that new normal? What is that new normal? And I don't know if some of that is what you're navigating through, But the question, that's coming up for me around this is we have to, as women in our culture, wear so many hats at the same time
Yeah.
that I feel that oftentimes we don't really understand how to prioritize that along with why it's important to be grounded in our personal wellness, right? Like
Yeah.
we feel because we're brought up within our culture to always make it about the community, the family, the outward stuff. And
Yeah.
it's almost apologetic when we feel we need time for self. I
Yeah.
feel that some of, what you've gone through has helped you define that. Can you share that? I feel it. So I want to ask that question. Can you share that for us a little bit?
Yeah. So, really interestingly, although I come from a very traditional Indian family, for some reason, we're not that traditional. I did have
Hmm.
very strict parents, who wanted me home by a certain time, all of that stuff. But I'm the youngest of three kids by a lot, and I'm the
Okay.
youngest of 52 cousins. And
Wow.
I would say probably half of my cousins are all married to non-Indians. My brother and sister definitely kind of broke the mold, which allowed me to tell my pretty strict mom and dad, like, you know what, just trust me,
Mm,
and weirdly, even though no one gets married to get divorced, but um, I'm still married. So my husband's parents are actually divorced too. So we haven't had that outside influence too much.
mhm,
And I think
mhm.
everyone is really trusting us to do what's best for our son. But
Yeah.
I think that also comes from the fact that, like, I think sustainability in terms of an energetic perspective is something that I've practiced. Like, my dad put me in meditation camp since age 4.
Wow.
So, managing
Mhm,
energy from a human capital perspective as a professional,
mhm,
it's always been there. And,
mhm.
you know, a big lesson I've learned in life is, like, you could be a person of service, but not at your own expense. And
That's the big one right there.
yeah, but at my own expense was rarely at the expense of my family. At my own
Mm,
expense was usually at my own expense. So,
mhm,
I got to benefit from seeing much older siblings, much older cousins live out their life. And I was lucky. And
mhm.
weirdly, being that lucky, the universe gives you what you can handle. And so I got dealt all of these other huge challenges. My older
Mhm.
sister, who's 13, got divorced, and that was probably her big life challenge. But I also had a lot of other shit happen to me, which makes the divorce, like, yes, you ebb and flow.
Mhm.
Obviously I have my bad days, but it didn't really compare in like, I almost died twice. So the
Mhm.
divorce is just like, girl,
Mhm.
you had a lot of achievements,
Yeah.
you had some trauma and some lessons,
Mhm.
and how do we make the best situation? And we haven't figured that out yet, but
Mhm.
I truly believe, with thoughts become things, that,
Yeah.
like, for the sake of our son, that we will do the best that we can. And I'm still navigating it, so I'm probably
Yeah.
not in the best place to even talk about it.
Yeah. I understand. You know what's interesting that you just shared there is that you almost died twice. And I find that always fascinating when I talk to people who, talk about it from the other side. Has that impacted or been a caveat to starting Grounded 1002? That just,
Absolutely.
yeah, let's
Yeah.
share that. Let's go there.
Yeah, absolutely. But the way, when I say I almost died twice, it's not in like a, oh my God, I had a visualization. No, I just had, can I swear? Shit happened to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
That
Yeah.
was, it seems like it's unique, but actually it's not. So, starting with the first incident,
Mhm.
I'll describe it as a head trauma. But basically, in Toronto, 10 years ago,
Mhm.
at a charity event for battered women, an incident happened that, I broke my face into 150 pieces. And
What?
yeah, let's not get into how that happened. But
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, you know, I was at the top of my career at the time, working for the number two company in the world,
Mhm.
in a very senior role. My memory was impacted. I
Mhm.
looked like Shrek. Like I literally, my face was so inflamed, you know. And when you go from being this beautiful woman to looking like that, and
Oh, the trauma.
yeah, the physical
Mhm.
stuff that comes with it,
Mhm.
it was really intense. And
Mhm.
that really, you know, my face was so broken that like my jaw had completely moved and there was chronic pain. And I was like, what do I do for this? You know, and, you know, I had surgeries and stuff, but like, what do I do? And that
Mhm.
was the introduction to like exploring traditional Chinese medicine, which I think is the most sophisticated form of healthcare out there. And it
Mm.
predates a lot of the other, not predates, it postdates a lot of the other ancient modalities out there. But it's smart and it helped me so much. And so lo and behold, I had this accident, but now I understand something that I didn't really use too much. And then
Mhm.
5 years later, when I was in the UK, when my son was 6 months, 6 weeks old, I had a situation of mastitis that kept going, like something so easy. You take an antibiotic and it's gone. That's what should happen.
Mhm.
But it kept getting misdiagnosed over and over and over and over and over again while my husband was in San Francisco working on the biggest deal of his career. And I'm in the hospital and I have 19 women going through my home. And the hospital keeps telling me that something else is wrong to the point where like my whole body had completely shut down in sepsis. And if the infection had spread more, I would have been dead. So I had emergency surgery with women I don't know watching my
Yeah.
child. And like that brings a whole level of like, again, like, let me make sure my kid is, you know, being taken care of and let's just get to the solution. And I kind of like didn't even tell people really what was happening. I was just
Mhm.
in full solution oriented mode.
Mhm.
And you know, it could have been avoided. And it's happened to so many people after,
Yeah.
but people let that define them. And the reason
Yeah.
I say I don't want to get into the details is it's not about the trauma that happened. The trauma that happened is clearly like stored in my body and my organs. And, you know, I'm looking at getting rid of it. But
Mhm.
the bigger thing is like, what are the learning lessons, you know? And that
Mm.
was obviously so many learning lessons where I was like, I got to put this together and somehow try to explain it in this brand.
I feel like this is the perfect time for us to talk about Grounded 1002. Neeta, what is this company and why did you decide at this particular juncture that you needed to bring it out into the world?
Yeah, so we promote an intuitive lifestyle. So it's very much a lifestyle brand, and we promote that intuitive lifestyle through products and experiences. And um, the
Let me
mission is,
stop you there a second. Let me stop you there
yeah,
a second. What is an intuitive lifestyle? Let's share that with people that don't understand what that term means.
yeah. So I've kind of trademarked the hashtag of intuitive lifestyle because I think I don't know if you remember, but 20 years ago, like every publication, Harvard, everyone was writing about this something called EQ, you know, that it's going
Yes,
to be the
yes.
hottest, you know, every good leader has to have great EQ. And
Mhm.
for me, coming from a professional with a particular focus on strategy and people operations, I would say the next hot skill set is intuition, and a lot because of just where we're seeing artificial intelligence taking us.
Mhm.
And before I go into what an intuitive lifestyle is like, let's just go with what are the benefits of having high intuition,
Mhm.
right? So if we all have intuition, it's just are we tapped into it or not? And the choice is ours. Are we turning it on or off? And
Mhm.
it's quite easy to do, which is what the intuitive lifestyle is. But the benefits of intuition, of having a high intuition, is if you have high intuition, your decision making skills become good. When your
Mhm.
decision making skills get good, this is one framework. There's probably so many frameworks of the benefits of intuition, but your decision making skills get good. If your decision-making skills are good, you start to trust yourself. If you
Mhm.
start to trust yourself, you start being able to look at things outside the box, which just is where creativity comes from, which is why a lot of people are like, oh, creatives are intuitive. No, they just trust their decision-making skills. And once
Yes.
the creativity comes in, once you're able to think outside the box, you're trusting your decisions, you will become the authentic version of you. And once you become the authentic version of you, your wellness automatically increases. So
Mhm.
that's one framework that I look at from like the corporate hat, and then you can talk to other people who'd say, hey, high intuition has benefited me in other ways. So let's go with that framework.
Mhm.
And what an intuitive lifestyle is, the way that I peg this term, given I've burnt out so many times, given I've
Mhm.
known so many people, through all of the jobs I've done, is that if your mind, body, and soul are not somewhat in equilibrium, they don't have to be like this, but if they're not in the same playing field, you will burn out, right?
Mhm.
And so if you look at that corporate person who's working like, 50 to 70 hours a week, they're doing all that mind work. And then they're like, I'm going to go to the gym. And then they pay no attention to the soul. This equals burnout.
Mm.
Or if
Mm.
you're that person who's at the gym doing the body work, maybe you're doing the soul work, but all the mind work is here, that equals burnout. Or if you're that
Mhm.
spiritual person, that bohemian person, not paying attention to the other parts, you burn out. And if you look at a lot of the successful people in life, like let's look at, I can't say his last name, but like Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? Like this
Mhm.
guy who used to be massively built, now mind, body, soul, kind of balanced. He's hit his equilibrium. Every person who's good at what they do, whether it's in the mind, body, or soul, eventually hits that equilibrium. And how to
Mhm.
hit that equilibrium, that's what an intuitive lifestyle is. And it's so easy. It's so easy to do. But like the articles these days, the biohacking technology these days, they just complicate it way too much, right?
Mhm.
So if I were to talk about soul work, for example,
Yeah.
what you do to do a little bit of soul work is you pay attention to the elements every day: earth, air, water, fire, ether, metal, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
We're Indian, we wear gold. This is our metal, right?
Mhm.
This is my son's great grandmother's bracelet. This is my mom's bracelet. I interact with it. It is a natural element that is
Yes.
me interacting with metal.
Yes.
I could interact with ether by looking up at the sky and saying hello to the moon, to the sun, to the stars. I could interact with, wood by hugging a tree. This is one of my products called Sticks and Stones. Just touching that is grounding. When we take a few seconds, me drinking my water and being like, thank you, it's nourishing me on the inside. I'm taking a shower, it's
Mhm.
covering me. This water is beautiful. Or listening to the water at the beach. I just got back from the Dominican. Paying attention to that stuff for like a minute a day, your soul work is done.
Mm.
Literally that easy. Doing some fire gazing, looking at that candle, that candlelight. That's how easy soul work is. And like, I'm on Instagram. People see every Friday I chant. I'm probably called a spiritual person, but it's not actually my soul work. My soul work is the God-given free stuff that we've been given: earth, air, water, fire, ether, and consciously with all my five senses paying attention to it. So just doing that, your soul work is done.
Mhm.
The body work is not
Mhm.
fitness. It's not what you're reading about in Men's Health magazine. It's not what, the six pack. It's literally, is my breath reaching my entire nervous system? That's your body work.
Mhm.
If your breath reaches every single organ, you're good. And most of us stop breathing over here,
Yeah.
when actually you have to be breathing from the base of the skull to the base of the sacrum. And if you
Mm.
practice a few times, and
Mhm.
it's kind of like part of the brand of what we teach, like it's so simple. It's so simple. You do that,
Mhm.
your body work is done. And then you add on the 7,000 steps, and then you add on the workout. All of that is great, but if your organs are not working, where's the body?
Yeah.
Breath is life, right?
Mhm.
And for the mind, it's like just write everything down that you have to do so it's not contaminating what's going on here.
Yes.
That simple mind dump, and then you can read the books and then you can get smarter. Then you can add to the IQ. Then you could and. But just
Mhm.
doing that, those things, earth, air, water, fire, ether, consciously, couple of breaths consciously, writing down what you're trying to do, where you're trying to go consciously, like you're done. Half an hour a day maximum. And like
Mhm.
doing that makes sure that you don't burn out, as crazy as it sounds,
Mhm.
especially when you're working with earth, air, water, fire, ether. Like, hey, I've been in therapy for 10 years with so many people, but telling you, I learned just as much by watching, fire burn this stick and just looking at how each fiber is burnt.
Mhm.
You learn a lot just seeing like how things move, what happens to
Mhm.
ashes. It's pretty incredible.
Mhm. I got to dive into everything your company offers, the products, the experiences. Let's dive in. What
Yeah.
do people have to look forward to when they come into your world?
Yeah. So it's a lifestyle brand. So we have
Mhm.
hashtags, right? So the first hashtag is called Rock with Care. And the lifestyle that goes with Rock with Care is like, don't be a dick to yourself or others, right? Like rock with care, like be kind,
Mhm.
compassionate, be that person of service, not at your own expense, right? Otherwise, you're not
Mhm.
rocking with care to yourself.
Mhm.
The experience we offer with Rock with Care is a series of concerts, no alcohol. You walk out listening to 4 different styles of music at every concert, all conscious. You will walk out being a better version of yourself for sure. We've had
Mhm.
2 of these concerts and they're beautiful, they're amazing, with artists from all over the world bringing what they do. And then
Wow.
the product is actually, it's a stone, it's a rock, so it's a rock with care,
Mm.
right? And you use
Mhm.
it all over your body. And this was like truly what helped me get through a jaw that's moved all the way this way, or having an infection in my body that I need to drain out, or to like
Mhm.
making my face look a little bit more snatched after it was so inflamed,
Yeah, yeah. And
right?
and wow. Wow.
So that's
This is so wow for me. This is so wow for me.
yeah,
This is
it's
gonna be
been
wow for everyone that's watching, listening, and reading this.
thank
Can we
you.
talk a little bit about the event component? How can people participate and what should they expect?
Ooh, what do you expect? So the tagline of the brand is get curious.
Mhm.
So like I really try not to give out too much information because I don't want to tell people how to feel. And
Ah, I
quite
love that.
yeah, I mean, because we all have different blueprints, we all have different data points. If someone walks into one of my events and hears chanting, if they've chanted before, the likelihood of them judging it or judging themselves, enjoying it, it's not likely to be high. So I don't want to tell you what you're going to feel.
Okay.
I take friends with me who've never chanted before who like, you know, get tears in their eyes. And then I get some people who ecstatically dance. I don't know what you need. However,
Mhm.
the experience that's being created through the music is definitely one of vibration. I didn't mention, but I worked in a record store for 10 years and like music is life, like it's
Yeah.
breath and then it's music for me. And
Mhm.
it's just really important to show people that they can, just like muscle memory, there's vibrational memory. And if you get
Mhm.
your vibration up to that 432 hertz or something similar, it does good stuff for you.
Yeah, it's healing. Absolutely. I love that. Let's
Yeah.
talk a little bit more about the products and experiences. Let's cover the suite. What is
Okay.
it that people can expect from the product suite first? Let's go there.
Yeah.
I want to
So
really define it so people understand.
Yeah, I'm still defining it. So there is going to be 9 products in total. So I know exactly what they are.
Mhm.
4 will be out by mid-year. So the second product is called Sticks and Stones. It's like this little box that I have here.
Okay.
And the lifestyle is, we all grew up with that nursery rhyme, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Like,
Mhm.
I can tell you words hurt more than anything
Mhm.
else, whether it's the words someone else is saying to me or whether it's the words I'm saying to myself. So,
Mhm.
sticks and stones, that's the lifestyle. Words matter. From an experience perspective, Sticks and Stones is a sustainability element of our brand, where not
Mhm.
only do we talk about sustainability from an environmental perspective, I have
Mhm.
no certifications on purpose. If
Yeah.
people are like, "Are you a sustainable brand?" I'm like, "Girl, I sell sticks and stones." Raw material, it's pretty pretty sustainable.
Mhm.
But the what the product is I've curated 3 different styles of Palo Santo,
Okay.
in 3 different sizes. So basically, Palo Santo comes from a tree that's been growing for 70 to 100 years, in a forest. And once the tree falls, um, the resin starts accumulating, a smell. And that smell has like, it's full of aromatherapy benefits.
Mhm.
And each stick, so most people will buy Palo Santo and have no idea where it's come from, but each variety that you get comes from a different forest. So
Mhm.
this middle stick here, most people love the most because it smells quite even keeled. It comes from a forest where the soil is nice and the weather is nice. Our thinnest sticks come from forests where the weather changes, by the hour, and the soil quality changes by the hour, and it is
Mm.
potent. And I just feel like that's a really good representation of people. The more
Mm.
stuff you've weathered through life, somehow the more potent that you get, and you kind of learn a lot about yourself by just looking at this, practicing mindfulness with this. A lot of people will take these sticks and just burn them and put them away, but there's actually a way to burn sustainably. And then on top of that, do it mindfully. you know,
Mm.
Burn it like a cigarette, look at the fire, make sure it's burning evenly, and you learn a lot about yourself. The third product is a copper product. I actually don't even have it here, but it's a tool called Essential Element, and it's made of copper.
Mhm.
Copper is one of 2, gold elements. Um,
Mhm.
but essential elements from a experience perspective is our workshops. It is retreats. We're doing a retreat in Tulum, Mexico. I go there regularly. So that's
Yeah.
happening March 22nd to 26th. And then
Okay.
I also have one-on-one chats with people who are interested in kind of figuring out how to tap into their intuition, just so we get through the essential elements.
Okay.
And then there's 6 other products.
Okay. So let's break some of this down.
Yeah,
So the one-on-ones, the coaching. I'm assuming it's coaching.
I call them chats.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
I'm offering
intuitive.
people very
So
much.
okay. So for people to understand exactly, what these chats are about, is it led by defining the opening up of their intuition and helping them with that journey? Tell me what specifically they get out of those chats.
Yeah, so I do 15-minute like consults with people. Oh, Maxine just brought me the copper tool here.
Oh, there it
It's
is.
very heavy. It's like double the
Yeah.
weight of this
Yeah.
one. And like when you put this on your body, it's
Yeah.
just, yeah. But so what do the chats do? So the 15-minute initial chat is,
Mhm.
hey, who are you? And just tell me 5 minutes about yourself, and I'm going to give you one way to move the needle.
Mm.
My tagline in the brand is take what you want and leave the rest. But usually we're able to come up with like one thing that really moves the needle, like by a lot,
Mhm.
by a lot.
Mhm. Mhm.
Take that breath. Let's learn how to do that properly. Let's learn how to be present just for a minute. And it's not, you don't need to go to Bali. You don't need to go to Tulum. It's inside of you. It's innate.
Right.
What's your magic? So that's that 15-minute call. And then
Okay.
after that, I would say I probably wouldn't have more than 2 chats with people
Okay.
again in a year. So 1 hour each, 2 chats, that's it.
Mm,
And we talk about other things that move the needle a lot. And should someone be interested in being like, hey, I want to go deeper, either I will do like 6 sessions with them and we focus on something, or I pass them on to someone who is an expert who maybe they could benefit from more, like a somatic coach
I love that.
or a breathwork person or a traditional. I'm not a certified traditional Chinese medicine practitioner. However,
Mhm.
the knowledge is real after everything that's happened to my body. I haven't even mentioned it all, but I'm done. I'm done with all of that body work because I've learned a lot.
Mm, absolutely. So these are sessions that they get with you that they can book time through a website. Let's give people
Um,
that info.
yeah, so just email me at connect@grounded1002.com. I'll add a Calendly link to my website.
Yeah. I
I
think
was,
that's a great idea. Let
yeah,
people book it directly from your website. Can we share the website URL?
yes, it's www.grounded1002.com.
And the 1002 is numbers, correct?
We're a cosmic powered brand,
Yeah.
and our fourth product has to do with the cosmos and coaching. So
Okay.
it's going to come out soon. I won't talk much about that, but it will be very, very cool.
Okay,
Um,
perfect. Is
yeah,
there an email list or a newsletter or somewhere that they can sign up to get
yes.
updates as you start to roll things out?
Absolutely. So actually the emails are the biggest part of the brand. I definitely think we're a educational, intelligent brand,
Hmm.
with a lot of care and some magic in there. So most of the information that we give through is via emails. So we have 2 newsletters that come out every full moon and new moon.
Okay.
And you can find Space online. We're also on Instagram. We have
Yeah.
playlists on Spotify. We're on YouTube, just getting up there right now. I'm a one-woman show at the moment with some help with amazing people around me, but
I love it.
yeah, we'll look at kind of expanding very, very soon now that I think we're building a cult following, which is
Yeah.
amazing. So
I
proof of
love it.
concept
Yeah.
happening. Yeah,
Yep, I love it. So we'll just
yeah.
make sure that anywhere that this is posted, that we have all of your various information, your website, the email address, your social handles, etc.
Thank you.
Very important that people are able to find you because what you're doing is very groundbreaking, is very innovative.
It's very
Um,
simple. I'm actually simplifying what wellness is because I
yeah,
think once you simplify, you get the basics down, the essential elements, then you go into what the trends are. But
right.
someone messaged me yesterday saying, "Should I eat Shilajit?" And I'm just like, it's just like blueberries. It's just like anything. Like, just get the breath work right and then get the circulation going, get the lymphatic drainage happening, and then you
Yes.
add on everything else to it that benefits you.
Absolutely. So let me just for people to get a rounded view of the brand.
Yeah.
What do you have a mission statement? Is there a mission statement you can share with people so they get it?
Yeah. I want people to be the best version of themselves
Mm. And you do it by these experiences,
and the
working
product.
with you, and
Yeah.
intentional products.
And lifestyle, like everything that we have online. It's just there to inspire. I don't want to tell anyone that they need to try something,
Yeah.
but it's food for thought. And get curious. And
Hmm.
it may not be applicable today, but maybe 5 years down the line it would be. And if it is, I'm very happy if that could happen. Like, I
Right.
truly want to make the world a better place and hopefully make some money doing it.
Of course.
you know
Absolutely.
Spiritual
Absolutely.
being in a material world.
Yeah, absolutely. And we
Yeah.
can have it all if we can define what the reality of that all is for
Hey,
us
you
as an
show it.
individual.
You show it.
Thank you, sweetheart. I appreciate you.
No,
For those,
truly. Yeah.
th- thank you. So
Yeah.
I want to speak a little bit on the intention of 10, 1002.
Yeah.
Can we talk a little bit about that so people can understand why you named it Grounded 1002? Because I know
Yeah.
it's very, very intentional.
It is intentional. So this is our logo. Okay. I don't know how
Mhm.
much you could see, but the
Yeah,
ground.
pull it back a bit. Pull it back a
Oh,
bit.
there we go.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
So the grounded is written in ancient text, and the 1002 is almost written in a sci-fi text. And
Mm.
I think the superpower I have is taking the old and blending it with the new and bringing
Mhm.
it together. And you can call the new science if you want, whatever it is. But 1002 is just a date, which represents like where the planets are at. But 1002 happens to be the birthday, October 2nd, of many career switchers that I admire. So people like Mahatma Gandhi, who went from lawyer to activist, Sting, who went from teacher to singer, Donna Karen, who went from fashion to wellness, Huda Katan, who's probably turning into an activist at this point after her makeup line. And weirdly, I happen to be born on this birthday too. So it's 1002, and these are the people that have kind of like Annie Leibovitz, amazing photographer. These people have kind of inspired me, but it's not about me. The point
Mhm.
is, everybody figure out what's your 1002, so your
Mhm.
birthday, and let's look at the people who were kind of born around that date, and do they inspire you? Do they have those
Mm.
characteristics that help you pull on your own skill set? Are there things that they've done that you don't like that you see a little bit of yourself in? And if so, what are you going to do to change it? So the fourth product that's coming out, I'll tell you what it is. They're called
Yes.
Powered Coaching Cards. And they're going to be amazing, but it is for people to look at their own innate characteristics, which will kind of guide you through. It's a mind, body, soul greeting card that you look at and you fill out. But you, after doing them for a year, going through 12 cards, you will be a pretty well-rounded individual, because we're
Mhm.
using dates and astrology to help people define what they should and shouldn't work on. So the
Mhm.
1002, I mean, people forget about the cosmos. Like, it's very much there. It very much
Mhm.
impacts what we do. It impacts the waves. It impacts our mood, our emotions. The sun takes care of our physical body. The moon takes care of our emotional mind. The other
Mhm.
planets all influence us in a different way. They move fast, they move slow. That all impacts us. You don't have to believe in the astrology, but definitely pay attention to the astronomy. That is science. Astrology is not.
Mhm. Mhm. That's so fascinating. I want to ask you this. 2024. What can people expect from your brand?
Yeah, we're
What
coming
is
out.
already there?
Yeah,
Yeah, what is already there?
yeah,
What are you launching?
yeah.
And how can people get access? I want to bring it round full circle.
Yeah, so the new year for me always starts when Aries season starts, which is in March. And that is when I feel like I'm actually launching the brand properly. We'll have
Okay.
a team, we will get all of these ideas in the head, they'll be out there. The last 2 years have more been this corporate woman experimenting with the language, with e-commerce, with getting divorced, with building myself back up after being pretty broken.
Mhm.
And I'm ready to go. I have this energy. So this retreat in Tulum that we're having, it's on the full moon, the first full moon of the energetic year. It's a retreat that was meant for myself, and I was like, hey, I'll have 8 more people join me, and we move quick. After it's spring, it's time for those seeds to
Mhm.
sprout. A
Mhm.
really good time to make that happen. So yeah, if you just follow us on Instagram, subscribe to our newsletter, listen to some
Just
of the
let people
music.
know. Yeah, let
Yeah,
people know what your social handles are, what your newsletter access point is.
yeah,
Even though
so
we will include it, of course, in our captions, but
yeah,
let's just share it for the audio platforms.
yeah, so it's pretty much grounded 1002 1002 on all of the social media sites. So LinkedIn is a little bit different to Instagram because it's a different crowd. But
Mhm.
if you're a LinkedIn person, join us on LinkedIn. If you like a little bit more entertaining stuff, join us on Instagram. And YouTube is the long form content. So if you have the attention span for listening to the why behind things and not the short form, definitely join on YouTube. That will definitely be a place where a lot of our content will be coming out on.
Mhm. Is there any opportunity for anyone joining you on this retreat or any future retreats that are coming about from different parts of the world?
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
So Tulum is March 22nd. There's still some room left. The next concert is in London on September 13th. We have artists coming from all over the world for that one, some big names coming. So that will be great.
Can you
And
share anything at this point, or do we need to people, or do you want people to
get
kind of
curious.
subscribe to
Yeah,
your, yeah.
yeah, get curious because the concerts usually sell out super fast. So yeah, so just when they happen, I'll let people know. But
Mhm.
we're doing some events in Toronto soon too. So
Oh, let's
yeah,
talk about that. Is there anything
yeah,
that's solidified yet?
dates are not solidified, but they will be workshops on how to feel into, like, iron the tension out of your body using the body tools.
I love that. Okay, so you absolutely, guys, need to make sure that you grab
Thank you.
that email address and just let everyone in this ecosystem know that you want updates. You want to know when the Toronto stuff is happening. You want to know when the concert is happening in fall.
Yeah,
Any future retreats that are going on. Any new products that are coming out on the market. Why you need them, right?
yeah.
Any potential time that you want to spend also with Neeta as well virtually. I'm assuming anyone from the world can access you.
Definitely.
Yeah. And again, it's through the email.
Yeah, and
Okay.
I
Can
I
we
I
have it
will add a
again?
link. It's connect@grounded1002.com.
Perfect. And let's kind of round up and close off with sharing some of your goals for the future. How do you envisage the brand sprouting over the course of 2024 and into the future?
So, as I mentioned, I like to say take what you want and leave the rest, but if someone finds something that works for them, I just want that information spread out. And it doesn't have to be through my products, quite honestly. I just want the wellness the wellness of everyone around us, no matter where they are in the world. The wellness of everyone around us, no matter where they are in the world. The more connected that people are to themselves, the more connected they're going to be to other people. And I truly
Mhm.
think that type of connection, that level of wellness, that level of authenticity, the high intuition leading to the better decision making skills, all of that stuff just means we have a better world. Like,
Mhm.
it sounds crazy, but if people benefit from the aromatherapy benefits of and the mindfulness from Palo Santo, by mine, it's amazing. It's probably the best quality on the market at the moment, but
Okay.
buy other stuff too, but I just want people to share what's helping them. So, like, honestly, so the world can be a better place. As
Mhm.
cheesy as that sounds, but it truly is like my mission. And
Yeah.
I feel, you know, that the universe will take care of me accordingly.
Amen to that, sister.
Amen for sure.
Yeah. So all these products, I just want to bring this back. All these products are available on your website, and
They are.
can anyone anywhere around the world
Yes,
access them? You can ship them anywhere.
correct.
Okay, that's an important point to know, guys.
Yeah,
Let
yeah,
me ask you this. How can people get involved from an advocacy perspective with your brand? Anyone that's listening, watching, reading this anywhere in the world today, I feel
yeah,
that they are coming across it in divine timing for them and for their purpose.
yeah,
If they really feel the message of your brand, the products, the experiences that you're all about, and they
yeah,
want to participate from an advocacy perspective to help support you, nurture more awareness, etc. Is there a way that they can do that, or is there something coming up in the future where they can get involved and be a part of your network base?
So if people like what they see online, obviously the like, subscribes, all of that stuff is helpful. But I mean, I'm an operations girl. So if someone here is watching this thinking, hey, I could help her out, I have an idea from her, I want to work with her, reach out to me. I would love to hear, because I don't know it all. I'm in early stages, and I truly think it's all about collaboration. It doesn't mean that everyone needs to be part of my company, but you know spreading each other's words, lifting each other up, just kind of like what you're doing right now. I mean, it's so important, right? Like, PR is often used to keep promoting people that are already known in the world.
Hmm.
And if there's other people who are like, hey, I resonate with your message, I relate to it, something has happened, I want to be a part of this, let's chat. I'm more than
Hmm.
happy. Like, I'm such a curious person. I want to learn from other people too.
Absolutely, Anita. I have to ask you this, like looking back over your life's experiences, what stands out as a key message that you'd like to share with other people, especially women out there who may be finding it challenging to do it all? It's almost like we're supposed to do it all, whatever that means. And also to prevent them from the burnout that you've experienced, that I've experienced, that I know that I'll continue experiencing until I get more balance. And I work very hard on my balance, and I nurture my being, and I do all the things that I know I need to do. But every time I think that I've got to a point of balance, I find another avenue to heighten that experience. It's like an ongoing journey.
Of
So,
course.
as a corporate, as a mother, as an entrepreneur, as someone that's gone through life's experiences and found your purpose in this lifetime, what would you want to share with them out there who haven't yet gotten there?
So I have 5 lessons that I think are quite important to share. And the first one I think is really important for the South Asian massive. Culturally, we give fear a lot of power. That's just how we're all brought up. What will someone
Mhm.
say? What will someone think? No matter how liberal or traditional our family is. So, one of the biggest lessons that I think man, woman, old, young should really think about, here's the food for thought, not telling anyone what to do, but do not give fear power,
Mm.
because thoughts become things. So when you feel fear, it serves a purpose. And the purpose is to unpeel the layers to figure out, why do I have that fear? And then you go forward. Someone like you've had all your challenges, you have a business, you've probably overcome so many fears, so it's a muscle that you've really built. But I'm sure a lot of women are like, wow, you're so brave that you got divorced, you're so brave that you're an entrepreneur, you're so brave that you keep pivoting your business.
Mhm.
But do not give fear power. A lot of cultures don't give that particular characteristic powers to our South Asian brothers and sisters. Just, you have a fear, unpeel, why is it there? So that's probably
Mhm.
the first thing. The
Mhm.
second thing, I think it's really, really, really important to invest in yourself. And a lot of people just do not see the point. And investing in yourself doesn't mean you have to have a therapist. It just means you have to learn to listen properly. And you learn to listen properly if you are using your intuition, because quite honestly, anyone can be the guru. There's
Mhm.
too many times that, we will watch someone and we're like, oh yeah, I'm really loving what they're saying. I'm loving what they're saying. I'm loving what they're saying. I'm loving what they're saying. And then they say something and you're like, don't agree with that. Let me just wipe this person off. Don't agree with that. But learn how
Mhm.
to listen. Not everyone is perfect. Not everyone knows the answer to everything, but anyone can be the guru. Young, old, your kid, your grandfather, your neighbor. If you get a piece of information that's going to benefit you in life, it doesn't matter what the credentials, what the profession is of that person. If it resonates with you, take that data point and incorporated it into your system, and it will figure out how to embody with everything else that's going on in your life. So everyone is the guru if you learn how to listen. So make sure you invest in yourself. And once you start doing that, you can actually work with the professionals. There's a reason why I don't want to do more than 2 sessions for
Mhm.
people, because there's other people you can learn from.
Right.
No more than two sessions a year. Something that I had said is, be a person of service, but not at your own expense. That's something else culturally, but even something as women that we do. It's hard to recognize when you're doing something at your expense, but once you start being a little bit quote unquote selfish, hopefully, you get better at it because it fills your
Mhm.
cup. And then the biggest lesson, particularly through my traumas, is you're your own advocate in life, you know, and not just healthcare wise, like through my marriage. Like it takes two to tango, right? Like
Mhm.
I had to advocate for myself. I had to advocate for myself in my marriage, which I didn't. I had to advocate to myself, to the medical professionals who I gave way too much power to.
Mhm.
I had to advocate to myself, to my parents, which I learned to do that my brother and sister didn't really know how to do. I have
Mhm.
to advocate for myself in the professional world. I have to advocate for myself as a mother, and I have to teach my kid to do the same thing. So
Mhm.
we are our own advocates, but all of these lessons tie into being able to turn on that intuition. And we're not going to have high intuition about every single thing in our life,
Right.
because it's going to ebb and flow, as you said. Like
Mhm.
you're always going to start something new, and you're going to be like, whoa, the pendulum, as one of my best friends calls it, the pendulum swings. But like eventually you want to be at that point where the stuff you're comfortable with, your intuition is guiding you. So take
Mhm.
care of that mind, body, and soul.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh, Nita. I'm really confident that our conversation today will encourage everyone to think about the quality of their life, and I guess more importantly, if they are curating an existence that is factoring in their well-being. I mean, based on that, any final words you'd like to leave everyone with? Anything you'd like to share that you feel that we haven't covered?
The only thing is, it surprises people when I say that I miss the corporate world, because people are like, "Oh, you're designing your own life right now. You're doing what you want for your business." It doesn't matter what I'm doing. I loved being part of the corporate world. Like, hopefully this doesn't happen, but let's pretend this business didn't work out. I would happily go back to being in the corporate world because I loved it. But it's just learning how to navigate it. And learning how to navigate it comes from making sure you're listening to yourself, you
Mhm.
know. So I think the last message is really, really make it a point to learn how to access what I think is going to be the hottest skill set that we'll be talking about for the next 20 years:
Which is?
intuition.
Mhm.
Get curious, get curious.
Absolutely, sweetheart. Thank you so much for coming on and educating our community here at Anoki about Grounded 1002, which, guys, I really encourage everyone to go and check out. Please share one more time, Nita. Where can they go to be a part of your world? Lay it
Instagram.
on. Yeah.
All right. Instagram, Grounded 1002, YouTube, Grounded 1002, LinkedIn, Grounded 1002. Our newsletter, probably the best place to go. Or email us at connect at grounded 1002 and I would love to chat with everybody.
And all of this, they just need to hop on over and pop in an email to you, right? In order
Yeah, and
to,
it's all on our website too. The website is
okay.
going through an upgrade right now, so what you see is not the best impression of us, but it'll get there. It's about progress, not perfection.
Yes, absolutely. Sweetheart, what a pleasure you are.
You
I
too.
thank you so
Thank you.
much. Thank you
Thank
so
you. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing your world. Thank you for sharing your value system. Thank you for inviting everyone watching, listening, and reading this into your ecosystem so that they can choose what they need to elevate the experience of their life. Thank you.
All right, take care and hopefully see you in Toronto.
I absolutely cannot wait. Guys, I encourage you to follow the important work that Neeta is doing at Grounded 1002 and share with everyone you know so that they can also benefit. It's important that we understand the value of our existence. And as always, I'll see you next time on Anoki Uncensored. Stay connected with us everywhere at Anoki Lifestyle. And don't forget to sign up for our free weekly newsletter at anokhilife.com for exclusive info that we only share with our e-community. Take care of yourself, guys. Have the best rest of your day and your week. Bye-bye.